One child in 100 is born with the burden of a heart defect. Too weak to leave bed or live a normal life, they die young. A simple operation saves lives.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Talk Vietnam. Now, for many Vietnamese children living with cardiac diseases, the name Robin King Austin has become very dear to their hearts. She is known as the fairy godmother of many of these children, and she is very instrumental behind the starting of the program in Heartbeat Vietnam charitable program. We're very lucky to have her in our studio today to share more of her story as well as her mission.
American Robin King Austin has spent most of her 9 years in Vietnam on a noble mission. As the visionary and motivator behind the Vina Capital Foundation VCF Heartbeat Vietnam program, Robin dedicates her passion and drive to changing children's lives. She conceived of the VCF mission and since its inauguration in 2005 has led its efforts, which have resulted in saving and improving the lives of thousands of poor Vietnamese children through the Heartbeat Vietnam program. At any given time, there may be as many as 30,000 children waiting to receive heart surgery in Vietnam, and their chances to be cured increase thanks to the tireless efforts of VCF staff and Robin King Austin.
Thank you very much, Robin, for taking the time to join us.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. I understand that you have a very busy schedule, so thank you very much again for joining us. Could you tell us, first of all, what brought you to Vietnam in the first place?
My husband, he was making furniture here for many years and was brought here to be president of a big furniture company, Theodore Alexander, and we were very excited about moving to Vietnam for that.
So that was about around 8 years ago?
Yes, we've been here 8.5 years.
8.5 years.
Yeah.
Being here in Vietnam, what kind of inspired you to begin the charitable program? And what were you doing before then?
I went to work for a NGO here and was doing a lot of programs. They had many programs. But I was immediately drawn to the children with heart disease. They somehow captured my heart, and so when I left that position, I wanted to set up a separate organization that would focus more heavily on children with cardiac disease and specifically to focus on children who were very sick. And unfortunately, there are probably 20,000 or more children in Vietnam who are so poor that they really don't have any hope to get the heart surgery that they need. And so I wanted to be the one that would help these cases that were not able to get help other places.
And now, what did you do to start the project initially?
Well, I was very lucky to meet a wonderful man named Don Lam, who's the CEO of Vina Capital. And I pitched my idea to him to start a foundation that would focus on these heart children. And he was very enthusiastic and very passionate about the project. And Vina Capital has helped us a lot. They gave us the money to start the foundation, and they continue to support our administrative costs. So all the money we raise from outside sources goes 100% to the heart children. So we're very blessed to have that relationship and their help.
And before we talk more, let's take a look at the following clip, which gives you more information about Heartbeat Vietnam and what it is about. So let's have a look.
Tâm Đức Heart Hospital in District Number 7, Ho Chi Minh City. Robin King Austin is visiting this hospital today. It's a place where dozens of children with heart diseases are treated. Her busy schedule doesn't prevent her from coming and comforting these unfortunate kids. Robin hopes that her visit will offer some encouragement and at the same time help nurture the dreams and hopes of every child patient here.
Con cảm ơn bác sĩ phẫu thuật cho con mạnh khỏe, con về con sống, con đi học với bạn bè.
Lê Thị Đào from Phú Yên province only found out about the heart defect her son Đặng Văn Tịnh was suffering from when he turned 6 years old. With a daily income of around $1.5, mainly coming from collecting wood, she wasn't financially capable of paying for her son's heart surgery. But things changed when she was introduced to Heartbeat Vietnam. Her son is likely to have a new life thanks to the free heart operation.
Tôi rất mừng, tôi rất cảm ơn nhiều thầy trò đã mổ cho cháu được như những đứa trẻ khác. Nếu không có nhiều thầy trò thì mình không có thể nào mà nuôi con mình được. Mình không có thể nào mà đủ tiền để mổ tim cho cháu hết.
Heart surgery may cost tens of thousands of US dollars, and without the efforts of Heartbeat Vietnam, the future remains vague for many of these children.
Nhờ có sự hỗ trợ của chương trình mà nhiều trái tim rất cần sự trợ giúp đã được cứu sống, và chúng tôi rất là vui mừng khi thấy chương trình hỗ trợ rất là hiệu quả cho các bé có hoàn cảnh khó khăn như thế này.
Đây là chương trình có tính chất nhân đạo và hợp tác rất là tốt giữa các cơ quan phi chính phủ và các bệnh viện. Thì đây là một chương trình mà theo tôi nghĩ là nên được mở rộng và nhân rộng ở nhiều nơi và hợp tác được nhiều cơ quan nữa thì nó sẽ có hiệu quả kinh tế và xã hội tốt hơn nữa.
During the past few years, over 2,800 children with heart defects have been saved thanks to the continuous support of Heartbeat Vietnam and its donors. As the clock is ticking away, more defected hearts are cured and more unfortunate kids are able to wake up in a new life with a new heart.
Now, we've just seen a clip introducing the Heartbeat program, and that has saved the lives of more than 2,800 Vietnamese children living with cardiac diseases. That's an amazing figure. Could you tell us a little bit about what, how the program started and what it did in the very beginning?
Actually, the number is 2,818 as of today.
Congratulations.
We're very proud of that. We have an outstanding heart team filled with very enthusiastic and passionate young people who work so fast that they can submit a child to a hospital within hours. And I think that's one of the other things that sets us apart. We're very quick. We have relationships in 59 provinces.
59
so
provinces,
we are
wow.
able to navigate the hurdles and get children taken care of fast when they need to be.
Yes. How do you process which children living with cardiac diseases get the help from the foundation?
We focus on children who are very poor and would never be able to have the heart surgery without our help. And we do have great relationships with Vietnam, the LISA, and other organizations that help poor children in the provinces in 59 provinces. But we also do outreach clinics in 32 provinces. And we take the heart teams regionally from Hanoi, from Da Nang, from Ho Chi Minh, and we go out into the different provinces, and we used to just go to the provincial capital, but now we go deeper into the districts. And last year alone, we found over 1,000 children who would probably not have been diagnosed had we not done the outreach clinic. Okay. So our goal for this year is to try and take care of those 1,000.
Yes. Do you remember the first case that the program helped to, give surgery to?
Her name was Cao Yung, and she's a really pretty little girl and tiny, tiny, tiny.
How old was she?
I think she was 4.
She was 4.
Maybe a little older than that, but she was tiny, really, really small, as most of the kids are. Children with heart disease also have a syndrome called failure to thrive in most cases. They're much smaller than their peers.
We learned that, most of this family, as you said, are coping with very difficult family circumstances. What are some of the stories that stick to mind? Obviously, you've met so many families and children over the years that you've been working with Heartbeat Vietnam. So share with us some of these experiences.
Oh, V is a wonderful story. He's a recent one, and he's one of those kids that is in a family that has extremely low income. Mom is kind of a hero in my eyes. She rescued babies. She found V on the riverside, on the riverbank, in a makeshift coffin. And he was tiny and blue, and she couldn't leave him there, and she took him home. And he was told over and over and over again, no hope, no hope, can't do this in Vietnam, we can't take care of you. But we found a doctor who was willing to take a chance, and we knew from the beginning that his case was so serious that it would require multiple surgeries. And he's had 2 surgeries now, and he's doing really well. And after the last one, he called me and he said, "Robin, my lips are pink." And that was really an exciting phone call, because he had been unbelievably gray. And his fingers, when he walked into the office that day, his fingers were black all the way to the bottom. And he was really sick, boy.
Yes.
Darling young man.
How old is he now?
He's 22 now.
22.
Yeah, we
wow.
met him when he was 17. And due to have his last surgery soon. I don't know how many more months, but very soon.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's been 5 years basically.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you first, met him and knew of his story?
Well, honestly, he came into the office and I didn't know anything about him. His mom had a little piece of paper in her hand with my name on it. And I took one look at him and said to Ms. Hui, "Please call Dr. Den and tell him we're sending this urgent case over." And we immediately put him into not an ambulance, a taxi with one of our staff members, and took him over there. But he was so gray, and his lips were really purple, and his fingers and toes were both black. I was really afraid that he could collapse at any moment. So I remember very vividly, and they had walked, if you watch the movie, you'll see, they had walked and walked and walked because they didn't have any money to pay for a bus or a taxi or anything like that. And they'd walked all over Ho Chi Minh trying to find us. So they were really, really exhausted, and he was extremely sick when I first saw him.
Right. But how have the operations changed his life? How many operations has he gone through?
He's had 2 so far. He'll never be able to run marathons. He'll never be able to do hard labor jobs because he suffered from heart disease. But we hope after this next surgery that we'll be able to help him find a job. But he's also never been able to go to school because he was so sick. So the first order of business is to teach him to read and write, which we think will help him in the long run.
Cao Hùng Vĩ is a boy who went through a long journey to have his heart back to normal. His journey has touched many hearts, including Cường Ngô, who is a York University Film Department graduate in Canada. Cường decided to tell the tale in a cinematic way through The Journey.
That will be a journey, not only for Vĩ, but for all the people with heart disease in Vietnam and all around the world.
The movie features veteran actress Như Quỳnh, Ngô Thanh Vân, and Ninh Dương Lan Ngọc, who all offered their services for free. People's artist Như Quỳnh even paid for the air ticket from Hanoi to Đà Lạt for just a few shots in the film. The film is about the deep and enduring love between 2 sisters, the younger suffering from a congenital heart disease, and the older sister trying to do all that she can to save her sister from death.
I would do anything I could to help these children, even if it required knocking on every door in Vietnam. I hope that one day no more children will pass away because of congenital heart defects.
Can you tell us, how did you feel after watching the movie The Journey for the first time?
I cried. I cried very hard for a long time, and it was such a beautiful picture of the plight of poor children all over the world, not just in Vietnam. Even in my country, there are poor children that don't have access to care. And it's a really sad situation for a family to have absolutely no help of helping their child. And so it was absolutely beautifully done. And Nathan Van is an amazing ambassador for us. She really is incredibly passionate about the kids, and she gives so much of her time to helping raise funds for Heartbeat Vietnam. She's just amazing. And she did a great job, Ngoc did a great job, and the director was just fantastic.
Yes. Now, the movie, I believe, was screened in various places. How did you see the public respond to this particular movie and the message that it carried?
It's been very interesting how I think we've had, I'm not sure exactly the number of people who've seen it so far, probably around 10,000 people. And everybody has been extremely touched by it. And I don't think people realize how hard it really is for these families out in the countryside who have a sick child. And it's not just heart disease. There are children with other NCDs or non-communicable diseases or chronic diseases that have the same problem. But we've been fortunate to be able to help some, but there are a whole lot more that we need to help.
Exactly. The movie kind of served as, you know, a way of raising awareness of that situation.
Yeah, the movie ends when they walk into our office, and many people have been in touch with us to find out what happened to him afterwards. I always tell them he's still on his journey, yes, and probably will make the last trip to Ho Chi Minh soon for the surgery.
Wonderful. Well, we hope wish him the best of luck.
Mẹ nói đừng được em vào đêm trăng tròn. Vậy mà tim em lại bị khuyết. Nè, sắp tới sinh nhật của em rồi. Em có muốn vậy không? Em muốn mình khỏi bệnh để bước vào tuổi 18.
Con ạ, trong cuộc sống ai cũng phải theo đuổi một cái gì đấy để tìm thấy niềm vui. Với chúng ta bây giờ là phải ráng tìm mọi cách để chữa trị cho được trái tim của con. Đó là con đường phía trước của mình.
Bể rồi thôi đi em.
Gì đây?
Đi giúp con bán thêm lần nữa đi.
Trời đất ơi, mày mới bán ngày hôm qua, bán gì nữa mày? À, mày cần tiền phải không? Đi bán thận đi, ha.
Xin lỗi.
Now, as you just mentioned, Ngo Thanh Vân, the actress, who's a very renowned actress here in Vietnam, is the ambassador of the program Scar of Life. Can you tell us about this particular program under Heartbeat Vietnam?
Vân started doing a fundraiser annually for us 3 years ago, and she's an incredibly creative woman and comes up with some very innovative ideas for raising funds. And so far, her events have raised enough money to help 580 children.
Wow.
We're still getting money from Scar of Life, this year's Scar of Life, which was in June. So we're not sure exactly how many that this year will help, but she'll probably go over the 600 number this year, which with the money she raises.
Now in our studio today, we also have two among the more than 560 beneficiaries of the Scar of Life program under Heartbeat Vietnam. And do join me in welcoming Cao Thị Quỳnh Như from Trà Vinh Province and Michael Huy from Củ Chi District here in Ho Chi Minh City. Cảm ơn hai em đã dành thời gian để đến với chương trình, và bên cạnh đó còn có cả chú Nhẫn là ba của em Như và cô Hiệp là cô của em Huy đến với chương trình. Xin cảm ơn cô chú đã dành thời gian để đến với chương trình. Như ơi, Như năm nay em bao nhiêu tuổi rồi?
Dạ thưa chị, năm nay em 14 tuổi.
14 tuổi, em học lớp mấy?
Dạ chuẩn bị lên lớp 8.
Lên lớp 8 à, thế còn Huy?
Dạ em năm nay 15 tuổi, chuẩn bị em lên lớp 10.
Lên lớp 10 ha. Thế Như có nhớ là khi mà mình mới phát hiện là bị bệnh tim là khi Như bao nhiêu tuổi không?
Dạ thưa chị, năm em học lớp 5, 12 tuổi.
Như có nhớ cái cảm giác lúc đó như thế nào không?
Lúc đó em buồn.
Thế hả?
Dạ.
Lúc đó là sức khỏe của Như như thế nào?
Dạ, nó có bệnh, rồi cái đi khám rồi mới biết bị bệnh tim.
Thế ạ, mà Như cảm thấy bị mệt mỏi hay là bị như thế nào?
Mệt, giỡn rồi thì mệt.
Thế còn Huy phát hiện ra là mình bị bệnh tim là khi bao nhiêu tuổi?
Dạ lúc còn nhỏ bẩm sinh.
Tức là Huy là bị bệnh tim bẩm sinh đúng không?
Dạ.
Dạ. Chú Nhẫn, chú có thể chia sẻ là làm thế nào mà gia đình của mình đã biết đến chương trình Nhịp Tim Việt Nam không ạ?
Như chị biết lên đài truyền hình á, thấy quỹ bảo trợ nghèo của tỉnh Trà Vinh á, rồi người ta chỉ đi làm làm giấy tờ lên bệnh viện Tâm Đức mổ, người ta tài trợ đó chị. Cái gia đình thì khó khăn á, mần mướn không à.
Thế cô Hiệp ạ, cô có thể chia sẻ thêm là hoàn cảnh gia đình của bé Huy thì như thế nào ạ?
Hoàn cảnh gia đình của cháu Huy thì bố mẹ đều là công nhân của xí nghiệp may á, rồi cho nên là cái điều kiện biết cháu là bệnh cũng từ lâu rồi, nhưng mà vì điều kiện không có đó. Rồi qua cái báo chí tôi đọc báo chí, tôi thấy là trên báo chí nó có cái chương trình mổ trái tim cho em á, rồi mới tìm tới ở bên Sở Thương binh Xã hội của thành phố mình á, nó giới thiệu. Rồi cái công ty Vina Capital này nè, là sau khi cháu được công ty hỗ trợ tài trợ là để cho cháu đi mổ tim á, thì hôm nay thấy sức khỏe của cháu cũng bình thường như bao bạn bè khác. Dạ.
Cô thấy tình hình sức khỏe còn thay đổi như thế nào sau khi bé được mổ nữa ạ?
Sau khi mổ thì bây giờ cháu lên cân nặng, cháu lên tới 12 kg ạ. Dạ.
Thế Huy có nhớ cái cảm giác sau khi mổ, từ lúc mổ đến bây giờ là từ lúc Huy 12 tuổi đúng không? Thì là đã được 3 năm rồi, thì Huy thấy tình hình sức khỏe của mình thay đổi như thế nào?
Dạ nó khỏe hơn lúc trước chứ không có mệt nhiều.
Thế Huy đi học có thấy khó khăn gì về sức khỏe không?
Dạ không.
Thế còn Như?
Dạ không, con cũng không có.
Thế như đi học bây giờ thì Như thích học môn gì nhất nhỉ?
Dạ thưa chị, em thích học nhất là môn toán với môn văn.
Ước mơ lớn nhất của Như là gì?
Dạ, ước mơ lớn nhất của em là làm bác sĩ.
Là làm bác sĩ đúng không?
Dạ.
Thế còn Huy, lớn lên Huy muốn làm nghề gì?
Dạ em cũng làm bác sĩ.
Cũng làm bác sĩ luôn. Thế làm bác sĩ để chữa bệnh cho ai?
Dạ cho mấy bạn bị bệnh tim như em.
Thì xin chúc cho hai bé Như với cả Huy sẽ lớn lên và đạt được cái ước mơ của mình, và xin cảm ơn gia đình cùng với hai em đã đến với chương trình. We have a fundraiser under the Scar of Life program. Can you name some of the other activities that Heartbeat Vietnam does in order to raise funds or to,
We're very fortunate to have the support of many repeat donors who've been with us since the beginning, and they give. We have some girls from Australia that are arriving today, and tomorrow they're getting in a van with some of our staff going to see some of the children that they saved in Tra Vinh and An Giang, and they're a good example of people who raise money for us other places. In Australia, we have several organizations. Wow. Here in Vietnam, the Can Cham, Canadian Embassy, and Food Bazaar, the many events make Heartbeat Vietnam their beneficiary. And then we have individuals who also are very fond of helping the children. We've been very fortunate to be able to raise a lot of money. But there's so many more children out there. We worry because we know that if we don't raise money fast enough, somebody's going to die. And it does happen. We had 2 babies die last month who were due for surgery in about a week. And unfortunately, they passed away before we could get them here. We were so devastated. We try very hard not to let that happen.
Exactly. But it's, one step at a time, and you're doing great work. We know that sometimes, as you said, you're very fortunate to receive all this support from individuals as well as organizations all over. But fundraising must be, still a challenge for most foundations out there. Have you ever had like a moment, whether it be, the discouragement of not getting money fast enough or not getting money, has it ever kind of let you down? Or?
Well, I wouldn't say it let me down, but last year we had a situation. Our heart team is so fast that they completed those 700 cases by November 15th or 20th, and we looked at the numbers, and we had done all of the cases for the donations that we have. And we were just shocked because we'd never stopped the program before. And so Wendy Big Chow, who's our Director of Program Ops, sent out a very passionate letter to all of her friends and all of our supporters. And over the next 6 weeks, we raised $200,000 just from that one letter that went viral all over the world.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. But we have to keep raising funds every single day. None of us stop any day of their, we're at a party, we're raising money.
Exactly.
Because if we don't, children die.
The clock is ticking away.
Exactly.
Basically.
Exactly.
Now, I understand we talked a little bit about support outside the operating theater, and as part of the Heartbeat Vietnam program, Vina Capital Fund, which is your the main supporting backbone of the organization, also provides scholarship, mentoring, as well as academic support for select Heartbeat Vietnam kids who show potential as well as academic excellence. And the organization is basically committed to providing these children with the support and also trust that they will go on to have a wonderful future outside the operating theater. So let's have a look at these efforts.
Not far from Hoi An City lie many several peaceful villages. The farmers here are very hardworking, but their living conditions remain low. They have no chance to access international standard health care. One of these families lives in Cam Châu Ward, Hoi An City, Quảng Nam Province. This is a family of 3 with father Trương Văn Lân, mother Tống Thị Tòng, and son Trương Đức Nhân, who was born with a congenital heart defect. The parents were fortunate to find out about the chance to cure their son's disease after a visit to their neighbor.
Gia đình mình phát hiện cháu bị tim lúc là 3 tháng. Rồi mình cũng bồng tới nhiều bệnh viện. Nói chung Đà Nẵng cũng có, Huế cũng có, Sài Gòn, bệnh viện Chợ Rãi với bệnh viện tim của Việt Phúc đó. Cái rồi mới gặp cái cô Sona này là cổ hàng xóm của mình. Cái cổ mới giúp mình là vô Sài Gòn. Rồi cái cổ mới liên lạc với chương trình của Vino cấp tour đi đây là cổ mời bác sĩ bên Mỹ qua là mổ cho cháu.
Robin King Austin, CEO and General Director of Vina Capital, provided constant support for the surgery led by Dr. Earl Austin, Chief of Pediatric Cardiac Surgery at Children's Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. With the help of the best Vietnamese heart doctors, the surgery was performed successfully. Little Nhân was saved, bringing the utmost happiness to his family.
Vừa mổ sang mà cái ca mổ ra nó là bác sĩ Mỹ với lại bác sĩ của Việt Nam mình họ ra là họ chúc mừng mình, là mình với cô Rosana là ôm khác, mừng ôm khác luôn.
Following the surgery, Chili Nhân now lives a new life. He can go to school and play with other children of his age. This is something both Nhân and his family have always wanted. He works very hard at school and always achieves high grades. This is his way of expressing gratitude to his parents and others who helped him while he was still sick.
Công cho như núi Thái Sơn, nghĩa mẹ như nước trong nguồn chảy ra. Một lòng thờ mẹ kính cha, cho tròn chữ hiếu mới là đạo con.
Each of Nyen's heartbeats contains not only the gratitude for his parents, but also the gratitude for the kind-hearted people of Heartbeat Vietnam.
Now, Robin, we just saw the story of Trương Đức Nhân. He is among the kids who received further support from Vina Capital to basically build a brighter future. Can you tell us more about his story?
He's another one of those children with no hope. He'd been turned down for surgery in many, many places. His case was so complicated that we never could find anyone in Vietnam that had any experience doing his lesion. So we brought a doctor from America to work with doctors here and do the surgery. He will definitely have another surgery at some point in his life when he grows. But he went from a child who could barely walk across the room to a child who runs and plays with the best of them now. I gave him a bicycle for his birthday a couple of years ago, and he loves to show me how far he can ride. And he's an amazing young man, very high energy now, and doing very well in school. And he's one of those. The Heartbeat Vietnam Scholar Program is for children that we meet in the hospital that just have that special something, that we know that they're extremely bright, they're good in school despite their heart disease, and we try and help them throughout their school career to achieve big dreams.
Yes. Well, what is the significance, do you think, of supporting these children, once they've left the operating theater?
Well, I think, they come from very poor families, and it costs money to go to school. It costs money for extra classes, and many kids drop out because the family needs them to help in the fields or in their job, in their business or whatever they're doing to raise money. So we want to make sure that these really, really bright ones with great futures are able to stay in school and go on to college.
Exactly. I know that, Heartbeat Vietnam is only one among the many charitable programs that you're working on. Can you tell us more about some of the other programs that you're working on?
The rest of the work that we do is pretty much involved in capacity building in the healthcare system here with regard to pediatrics. We have, and neonatal care. We have a program in the central region called Survive to Thrive that is working hard to improve the infant mortality in that area, and has been going on now for 2 years. We have a program in emergency care called Critical Response that teaches pediatric advanced life support to doctors all over the country. And when the doctors come to be certified in PALS, then their hospital becomes eligible to receive a crash cart which is the red cart that's in the emergency room and has everything you need in the drawers and on top to save a child in respiratory or cardiac arrest. And we've been very fortunate to receive some very significant funding from ExxonMobil for this, and we're very happy to have them as partners in putting crash carts in hospitals all over the country.
Inspired by Robin's commitment, all the staff at Heartbeat Vietnam have been involved in various campaigns in nearly every city and province across Vietnam. And it's the simple act of saving people's lives that brings them the inspiration to continue Robin's initial efforts.
Mình đến mấy cái vùng sâu vùng xa thì mình phát hiện một chuyến đi như vậy trung bình mình phát hiện là khoảng từ 50 đến có khi cả 200 trẻ mắc bệnh tim, mà mấy em thì đa số là gia đình rất là khó khăn. Bản thân mình thì cảm thấy rất là gọi là hạnh phúc thực sự khi mà mình cảm thấy là khi mà mình thấy rõ được là các em được cứu sống.
Trần Quốc Thành worked with Robin before she became the leader of the Heartbeat Vietnam program. His respect for Robin's works ensures that he's always keen to accompany her on these new missions.
Em thấy Robin là một người có một cái tầm nhìn để mà giúp đỡ cho trẻ em Việt Nam mình với một cái tâm huyết rất là mãnh liệt so với một người phụ nữ. Mà cái người phụ nữ này đặc biệt là không phải là người Việt Nam, mà họ là một người nước ngoài, nhưng mà họ rất là tâm bà, rất là tâm huyết với là những trẻ em Việt Nam. Trong cái tâm huyết đó thì nó bao gồm thêm cả cái mà những cái hành động chứ không phải là cái lời nói không.
And now, more young Vietnamese have decided to support Robin in her long-term projects.
Em cũng quyết định gắn bó lâu dài với công việc và em cảm thấy là rất là yêu thích nó, tại vì nó rất là ý nghĩa và mình cái cảm giác mà thấy một người nào đó sống lại nó rất là hạnh phúc.
Thousands of Vietnamese children with heart defect have been saved by Heartbeat Vietnam. But for Robin, the most precious gifts are not the certificates and medals. Instead, it's the smile of young child patients who have benefited from a new heart and life.
Could you share with us some of the, other memories that you've had from this whole process of being in Vietnam and doing all of this work?
Well, I think I'm very blessed because I've had many opportunities to go out into the countryside. And Vietnam is so different when you get out of the cities. It's just like it was 100 years ago. And it's so beautiful, and the people are so beautiful that it's just always a thrill to get out and see the smiles and the little villages, and it's just absolutely gorgeous.
You mentioned that you came with your husband here and he was working for the furniture company, but after that, this job ended. What kept you both, staying here?
Well, we really wanted to stay. It's just a lovely place to live. The lifestyle's great, and we felt like we were both doing something very important. And he was he retired, and then he started a consulting company, and he helps American companies connect with Vietnam factories. So,
oh, wow.
And he continues to do something that he feels is helping Vietnam, and we just love what we've been able to do here. And the Vietnamese people are the real reason we stay. We love the people, the smiles. I have a friend who says, I think I get 1,000 smiles a day. And I think that's true in Vietnam. When you go back, you go to other countries, or I go back home, it's amazing to see how few people smile. In Vietnam, everybody smiles. And it's fabulous. I love it.
What keeps you motivated in your work, the charitable work that you've been doing? I mean, as I said, you have a lot on your plate. You're doing so much for the Vietnamese community. What keeps you motivated?
Well, our programs save lives, and saving kids is what gives me the energy. And if I'm really feeling low, I'll take a trip to the hospital and meet some of the children that we've already saved, and that gives me the energy again to get going. I'm getting older, and I do get quite tired sometimes, but we have a great staff, and we're doing great work, so I don't plan on giving up on it anytime soon.
Yes, wonderful. Now, if you were asked by someone who's never been to Vietnam about, what is Vietnam? How is Vietnam like? What would you say?
I get that question all the time, and I've said it already today. It's a country with amazing people. I really, really always stress the beauty of the Vietnamese psyche, the gentleness of the people, the beautiful smiles, and the life here, and how lovely it is. It's such a gorgeous country too. If you get to travel in other parts of the country, it's just stunning. And I don't know anybody that's come that hasn't wanted to come back. And I know many people who come back time and again. And it's special. It really is.
Could you share with us some of your future plans? Do we expect to have you around for quite a while?
We're not making any plans to leave. The only thing that I see as a problem here is the pollution in the cities. But other than that, we love living here, and we don't have any plans to leave.
Wow, wonderful. Well, thank you, and thank you to Heartbeat Vietnam for all of the work that you've been doing for Vietnamese children here in the country. Thank you.
We're blessed.
All of the best of luck in your
Thank you
future
so much.
endeavors. Thank you very much. And that wraps up this edition of Talk Vietnam, and we hope you enjoyed it with Robin King Austin and her organization Heartbeat Vietnam. We'll see you more next time here on Talk Vietnam. Goodbye.